The woods hold their breath at twilight, shadows lengthen, stretching out like grasping claws from the ancient trees. This is when the whispers start, rustling through the leaves, carried on the wind. They speak of things unseen, creatures that dance just beyond the reach of the firelight. Ghostly fairies born of myth and nightmare, they haunt the spaces between our world and the next. These are not the fairies of bedtime stories of pixie dust and happy endings. These are creatures of dusk and shadow, their laughter echoing with a chilling hollowness. They are drawn to the woods, to the places where the veil between worlds wears thin. And they are always listening, watching, waiting for the unwary soul to stumble into their grasp. Their legends have been passed down for generations, whispered around flickering campfires and muttered in hushed tones, tales to chill the blood and quicken the pulse, stories of mischief and malice, of sorrow and despair. Deep within whispering pines, where the air hangs heavy with the scent of pine needles and decay, dwells the first of our ghostly fairies. He is a solitary creature, rarely seen but always felt. His presence hangs over the woods like a shroud, a constant reminder that you are not alone. Locals tell of a young woman venturing into the pines to gather firewood. She felt his eyes on her, cold and calculating as she worked. A sense of dread settled over her, a primal fear that sent her running back to the village, her arms empty. They say he watches for those who show fear, who are vulnerable to his unsettling gaze. He feeds on their terror, growing stronger with each tremor of their heart. He is a harbinger of misfortune, a specter of the woods best left undisturbed. Sorrowful Creek, they call it, a name whispered with a shudder, for it is here, amidst the reeds and the weeping willows, that the second fairy makes her home. Her voice, they say, is like velvet and moonlight, a siren song that lures unsuspecting travelers to their doom. Legend tells of a young woodcutter drawn to the creek by the sound of her voice. He was captivated, mesmerized by the melody and the beauty of the singer. He waded into the water, following the sound deeper and deeper into the heart of the woods. His body was found days later, washed ashore further downriver. His eyes were wide with terror, frozen in a silent scream. The villagers knew without a doubt that the siren of Sorrowful Creek had claimed another victim. The third fairy, the most frightening of them all, he is a creature of shadow and smoke, his form constantly shifting, always just out of sight. He is known as the collector of tears, for he feeds on the sorrow and despair of others. They say he wanders the woods at night, drawn to the scent of human sadness. He whispers in the ears of the grieving, amplifying their pain and suffering until their tears flow freely. He collects these tears in a glass vial, each one a testament to the misery he has caused. Some whisper that he uses the tears to fuel his power, that he grows stronger with each drop of human sorrow. Others believe he is simply a malevolent entity, taking pleasure in the suffering of others. Whatever his motives, the collector of tears is a creature to be feared above all others. Whispers in the dead of night. The woods are never truly silent, not at night. When the moon is hidden behind a veil of clouds and the wind whispers through the trees, that's when you hear them. The whispers, faint at first, like the rustling of leaves, but they grow louder, more insistent until they are all around you. They are the voices of the ghostly fairies calling to each other across the darkness, sharing secrets, plotting mischief. Their laughter echoes through the trees, cold and devoid of humor. It is a sound that chills the blood, a reminder that you are not alone in the darkness. Sometimes if you listen closely, you can make out words in the whispers. Names, dates, places. They are fragments of stories, glimpses into the fairies' world, but be warned, to hear too much is to invite their attention, and once they have their sights set on you, there is no escape. The shadow under the hill. There is a place deep within the woods, shrouded in shadow and silence. The locals call it the shadow under the hill. It is said to be a place of great power, a nexus point between this world and the next. It is here, in this desolate and forgotten corner of the woods, that the ghostly fairies gather. No one knows for sure what transpires in the shadow under the hill. Some say it is a place of ritual and sacrifice where the fairies perform their dark deeds. Others believe it is a gateway to their realm, a portal to a world of shadows and whispers. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain: the shadow under the hill is a place to be avoided at all costs. To venture there is to court madness and despair, to invite the ghostly fairies into your heart and soul. On the eve of the new moon, when the veil between worlds is at its thinnest, the ghostly fairies perform their dance. It is a dance of shadows and moonlight, of whispers and sighs, a dance as old as time itself. They gather in the heart of the woods, their forms shifting and swirling in the darkness. Their movements are fluid and graceful, yet there is an undeniable sense of malice in their every step. They twirl and leap, their laughter echoing through the trees. It is said that to witness the dance of the ghostly fairies is to glimpse the very essence of darkness. It is a sight that can drive a person mad, for it reveals the true nature of the world, a place where shadows dance and whispers hold power. Over the years, many souls have vanished into the woods, never to be seen again. Some say they wandered off the path and lost their way. Others believe they fell victim to the treacherous terrain, tumbling into hidden ravines or drowning in the murky depths of forgotten bogs. But those who know the legends whisper a different tale. They say the missing souls were taken by the ghostly fairies, lured into their clutches by promises of beauty and wonder. They say the fairies feed on the life force of the living, draining them of their youth and vitality. Whether these whispers hold any truth is a matter of debate. But one thing is certain: the woods are full of secrets, and some secrets are best left buried. The next time you find yourself walking in the woods, be careful. Listen for the whispers, watch for the shadows, and never ever trust anything that calls to you from the darkness. For the ghostly fairies are always listening, always watching, waiting for their next victim. They are creatures of myth and nightmare, born of our deepest fears and darkest desires. They are the embodiment of all that is eerie and unsettling about the woods, a reminder that there are some places where humans were never meant to tread. Why do these legends persist? Why do we continue to tell these stories, even though they frighten us? Perhaps it is because they offer a glimpse into the unknown, a world beyond our own understanding. Or maybe it is because, deep down, we are all drawn to the darkness. Whatever the reason, the legends of the ghostly fairies continue to haunt our imaginations, reminding us that there are some things in this world that we can never truly explain. And as long as there are shadows in the woods, there will be whispers.